Hey, Lincoln's Legion, how's it going? It's Chris, and today I have a video for you. Probably gonna put this out tomorrow. It's 12:30 right now. Had a long day streaming and stuff. I got done playing Outriders and such. I streamed for 3.5 hours, which is a little longer than my usual streaming length, just because of budgeting time. But I wanted to make this video. This is basically a channel update video. How I usually do. I usually vlog it on my phone, but I have a little bit more important things I wanted to talk about. Where I wanted this to be a little bit higher quality and just generally less fidgety, as I'm always just like vlogging my phone or setting it down in weird places and stuff. Um, for those of you who are new to the channel and don't know a whole lot about me, uh, well, I have a playlist that talks a lot about me and just generally get to learn kind of who I am, what I represent, and mostly focused around my struggles in life and how there's always some trauma going on in me. And whether it's something that I'm facing demons from the past or something new that pops up and affects me either as much as it should or far more than it should, it's all mental. It's all mental games. But I'm here to talk to you guys about the fact that I'm going to be starting therapy again soon. Now, I did therapy back when I was 17, I think, at the time. That was 10 years ago. I'm 27 now. And I did therapy back then when I was like going through a lot of stuff. I never processed a lot of childhood and early teenage year grief, trauma, um, just a lot of issues, and I never processed it correctly. So I was like self harming, isolating, self deprecating, just a lot of anger, a lot of hatred, and really just put myself in a bad place. And so I did a little bit of therapy with an elder lady, and she's very nice. And at the time, it helped, but at the time, it was more of like I don't really know why I'm here. I don't really want to be here. It was like, oh, this isn't helping. This doesn't do anything. All I'm doing is talking and, whatever have you. But I didn't really consider the power behind just expression because I was too busy always constantly just fighting myself to realize that I was really just kind of screaming at a wall and not really having a conversation with myself, which is what I needed to do. But I'm not going to get into all the details of all of that, but it's not like I don't mind, but I'm not going to make this video crazy long, just like delving into the past. But there were a lot of traumas that happened to me when I was like 15. Between the ages of 12 and 17 is when pretty much like the happy Chris that was like weird, goofy, carefree, always smiling, laughing, just fucking died and fell into a depressive rut that has existed throughout my entire life. Um, I am currently diagnosed with depression and anxiety, which those were the diagnoses. That was a diagnosis back then when I was like 17 when I was doing therapy and got a psychiatric evaluation at the time. But growing later in my life and experiencing new things in life, I also developed a lot more, or really not even develop, but just a lot of like my tics and things that I do that I consider to be personally normal, but understand aren't widely normal. Have really, come into light more lately. I watched a video by, if you guys know who Kyle Hill is, he was the old host of Because Science, and now runs his own channel. And he came out with a video today, or maybe yesterday. I think it was today, but it could have been yesterday, about how he was coming out with his Asperger's syndrome and how he struggles with that. And as he was going through which Asperger's is, I don't know a whole lot about it. As far as I understand, it's a form of autism, and I don't know a lot about um, the intricacies of autism and Asperger's, but that's something I do want to learn a little bit more about because as he was explaining a lot of his stuff in life, I was sitting there basically making a mental checklist of same, 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 same. Where's this going? I'm relating to every single thing he's saying on a level that I never really considered until now. So I started thinking, do I have some form of adult autism? And not in the way of like mentally debilitated, as some people have severe mental issues. Not like that. I'm clearly, I wouldn't say clearly, I guess, but a functioning adult where I do all my things and I am my own person. I'm independent, whatever have you. But there are small tics and habits and things in my life that I do that I could consider to be autistic tics or Asperger tics or whatever have you. And I don't know. I'm not going around saying that. I took a couple of online tests. Online tests are subjective, but I was trying to make it from credible sources, and all my results are coming back as very probable. So I'm like, okay, what's the next step then? Because, like I said, I haven't done therapy and I haven't had any new diagnoses, whatever, for like 10 years now. And I know I'm suffering from post traumatic triggers from my childhood and even recent events, upwards to a year ago when it comes to my relationship ending. I still suffer from a lot of tics, and I keep saying tics, but just like triggers from stuff like that. And I'm starting to think, if there's a lot of like when people argue and yell, I shut down, and it's more than just anxiety, it's post traumatic stress. But that's something that's not diagnosed in me. That's something I have self diagnosed, but don't proclaim to be 100% accurate. I also um, internally diagnosed myself with um, mood swings and like a mood disorder because that's something that runs in my family and that my dad has and that has been known. My dad has a form of bipolar disorder, so I'm thinking, well, when it comes to something like that, if that's in my genes, also has been triggered by depression, anxiety, and all my other issues going on, then that's something that's entirely plausible that I have, even if it's on some minor level. So I was just thinking to myself, like, it doesn't ultimately matter, but to me, solidifying these things as a reality is the first step to trying to better myself and overcome these things. So I called New Hampshire like services, whatever. I don't even know what the fucking. I called the doctors that deals with mental health and that I've been to before. When me and Sam did break up, I did seek out therapy because I needed help. But then the world fucking ended. Of course, and this is my whole like everything goes wrong, I have the worst luck in my life kind of self deprecation. I try to seek out therapy and help myself out, and the goddamn world endures a pandemic. What fantastic timing. Yeah, that's just like that's my life. It's a fucking movie, dude. It's a goddamn movie this shit happens. It's so bad timing, such bad timing. So I try to do that, but I didn't trust the Zoom meetings, the all like, data privacy leaks and stuff like that. So I didn't want to do Zoom meetings. We couldn't do in office, and a phone call therapy is not personal enough to for me to get anything out of. There's body language, there's a physical presence, there's like an energy and aura around being around each other. There's like a sense you have being around somebody, especially on something so personal like therapy. You need to do it at least at the bare minimum, able to see the person's face over, say, a Zoom call, which I don't want to do. I'd rather do it in person, but I'll deal with it. So it didn't work out at the time, and because of all that stuff going on, and so that just didn't happen. I did like 2, 3 appointments, and I didn't like the person I was talking to. She was nice and everything, but I got this sense of it might have been me just overthinking it, but I got this condescending tone from her. And but whatever. I'm sure she's a fantastic lady. I'm sure she's wonderful, but it might have just been me on edge. Might have just been my anxiety and stuff at the time. But I just got a condescending, um, kind of empathy from her, which I just didn't like. So I didn't have any motivation to sit down and talk with her because I didn't feel like she was actually listening. It was a lot of just like, and oh, yeah, It was just the tone of voice of the responses I was getting was just felt so disconnected and just like a bulleted list of responses kind of thing. I didn't like it. So, and I will be seeing a different person. Made an appointment for my introductory appointment was made for June, and it's currently April 10th. So it's a little ways out, but if there are any openings, they're going to try to get me in there. But then again, there's people who are ahead of me in line in that way who have the vaccine to be going in and getting it. Like there's a whole like tiered list, but I'm still in that list. I didn't get the vaccine or anything, not yet, at least. so I'm not like high on their priority list when it comes to stuff like that. But yeah, so I just wanted to update you guys on that. The fact that I'm going to be seeking out therapy again, more to try to help me work through myself. It's nice to have somebody to talk to, a professional, somebody who I can actually relate to in the way of like the way I have my whole critical thinking brain, my over analyzing brain. And I've been making a list of on a Word document of all the weird things that I do that I've just considered to be normal my whole life because I do it, but I recognize that they're not normal. Um, and it's just a dashed list going down of everything that I do. And I'm racking my brain up until then. I'm gonna write down everything I can possibly think of that I do that could be considered anything on these spectrums, like my hand synesthesia thing, the fact that if I touch cardboard, my throat closes and I can't breathe. It's like a sensory thing. The fact that when the bunnies chew on their metal pen, that noise in particular sets me into like an irrationally angry, frustrated state of just like that noise has to stop. It's one of those kind of sensory things. But I'm okay with other clacking and noises and whatever have you. But that noise in particular, I even had that back when my rats used to bite on their bird cage. Um, I'm always doing things like clicking my tongue or randomly beatboxing. So that's some kind of nervous tick that I do, or maybe not some nervous. Maybe it's not a nervous tick. Maybe it's something else. I'm always like my hands are always stuffed in my pocket. I'm always very tight to myself. I'm always holding myself in ways like that and just like gripping myself. I stand on one foot in the shower. You know, if I take a phone call, I have to basically go on a fucking mile walk. I pace if I'm on the phone. I can't sit still when I'm on the phone. If I sit on the couch, I don't spread out. I curl up in a ball, you know, stuff like that. I have waking hallucinations from dreams, vivid dreams to the point where I can wake up and smell, hear, and see things that don't exist. Um, I constantly have to take notes because my brain just doesn't remember things. I don't retain information, so I constantly have to take notes of the most simplest of things. Uh, I always have this notion that whoever's talking to me, I question their intentions. I feel like there's layers behind why they're talking to me and that they want something, that I'm being manipulated or tested in some way, or that they're simply just lying to me. I have to sit on my left leg. It's not even a comfort thing. It hurts my knee, it hurts my ankle, and it hurts my back and my ass. But it's a thing where I have to have one leg curled up to me. I can't just sit in a chair with both legs down. I can't do that for more than like a minute at a time. Otherwise, I feel weird, you know? Um, I have like my hand tremble that I get. It's just I have a 2-page list right now. That's just some of the things on my list. I have a 2-page list of things that I want to bring up, and that's only going to get longer as I go. So I'm rambling now, but the point is, I am seeking out more help, and even though I have stabilized a lot in the past, say 6 months, as opposed to the first 6 months after the breakup, um, I'm still always I'm in a dark place all the time, and I basically have resorted to going numb to myself, which is not good because I'm basically like you allow your soul to starve by not allowing yourself to be happy, because with the happiness, when you're happy, the good memories swell, and then when those good memories swell, I get depressed because I am reminded that those things are unattainable and they're impossible to feel again. And nostalgia sets me very far back in my own mind because, again, I get nostalgia for things that are perpetually out of reach. And so good emotions always trigger me into a bad place because that's just how it is. I smile because people smile, and it's muscle memory. You know, certain emotions and responses, and they're just invoked. It's no, I wouldn't say it's an act because I do feel happy, but I don't have that serotonin, that my brain doesn't produce that actual feeling of elation in my body because I can feel it in my mind and I understand I'm in a good mood. I'm happy. This is fun. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying talking to these people in the brain. But in the soul and in my heart and in my body, there's no feeling. It's impossible. I can't describe it to somebody who doesn't experience that. But the person that does experience it and does relate to it also could not describe it. So it's a really weird, like, bleak, monochrome type of existence of emotions. And I don't know how to describe it, but that's kind of the point of me doing this. So I'm going to be doing my best once that all starts, because once it all starts, I'm going to be obviously trudging up things I don't want to think about. And even right now, I can feel myself just kind of, like choking it down. I'm keeping it's rising, and my body's like, and you're staying in your little cage of emotion. So I'll be doing my best, obviously. Have to make it all work, but I think it'll be for the best. And who knows, maybe I'll be able to actually get prescribed a mood stabilizer or some form of medication that will legitimately help me and make me feel good and motivated and proud of myself and accomplished and all those things that I find scarce. So we trying. I'm trying. I don't know, man. Um, but as far as pushing that aside and transitioning to an actual brief update, I'm closing in on 200 Twitch followers. So if you haven't followed me yet on Twitch, I would greatly appreciate that. When I do hit 200 Twitch followers, I'm going to be doing another all day stream upwards to 8 to 12 hours. I'll be streaming for. Um, Not right away. Obviously, I'll have to plan my next day off to do that, but I plan on doing that. So when I get to 200 followers, that'll happen. YouTube has been doing, pretty well. One of my gamer score videos, my 75,000 gamer score video, has gotten like 16,000 views. It's been skyrocketing views lately, so that's great. Everybody's been adding me on Xbox. I've been getting friend requests, like 10 friend requests a day. Not friend requests, but like people following me on Xbox, like 10 a day. Sometimes 3 a day, sometimes 15 or 20 a day. It's ridiculous. As far as planned content, I do plan to casually stream Outriders as I feel like it. Same thing with Valorant with Dylan and Jake. And I do plan on finishing up The Evil Within. And then from The Evil Within, probably moving to Dead Space 2. And then during Dead Space 2, I'll probably be throwing in maybe some Fallout 4 streams if I feel the mood come on to play some Fallout, which I have had a couple of times. But whenever I do get the mood, it's like kind of later on in the evening, and I don't want to start streaming unless I have some people to kind of hang out with because I'm not going to enjoy myself in Fallout. I'd rather talk to you guys while I play. That piece of shit. So, kind of holding off on doing that, but I will do it at some point. Writing obviously has been stagnant, but slowly progressing. I got some shelves up. I got shelves up, and the bunnies are doing great. Everything's good there. Uh, Work is fine. Work is just kind of plateaued. I did get the raise, so I do make now at this job what I made at the kitchen. So at least I'm back on a level playing field there. Now it's just about getting consistent hours, which usually I do well enough, 60 hours for 2 weeks. So roughly 30 hours per week, maybe a little bit less, maybe 55 hours in 2 weeks because I get biweekly paychecks. So yes, and I will be having to pay for the therapy sessions, but they scale how much you have to pay based around your income. So around your monthly or yearly annual income. So basically, I'll end up paying per appointment like $35 for therapy. So that's Magic Man in the sky, whatever you want to go by for a name. Thank you, you know, or giant lion turtle from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Thank you for that. And that's how it was last time too. But again, with the pandemic, everything got fucked because I wasn't working, so I couldn't do it. I couldn't consistently pay for it, and couldn't consistently even try to do it. So, anyways, this video is going on far too long. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting me. If you want to support me more outside of just viewing, again, you can subscribe to me on Twitch, $5 a month. You can always drop some bits in Twitch. I think Twitch is the best way to support me because it's pretty direct. Or you can always buy a copy of my book. But yeah, I just updated the cover. I'm always changing the cover, but I just updated the cover here. Or you can buy one of the other books at linkinslegion.com/vengeance. So I'd appreciate that. Read it and let me know what you think because I want to talk about it. I want to have a conversation about it. Oh yeah, also audiobook. We're roughly, oh, I think by the time she finishes with this section, we'll probably be like 12 chapters in. Roughly, we're almost at the half. We're getting to the halfway point, and probably we'll be halfway done with it in another month. I'm expecting an update for that, the 20 something of this month, April 20 something. So yeah, that's coming. That's still in the works. So yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching and bearing with my emotions and seeing me for me. I got a lewd complex shirt from fucking Spencer's, I think. First time I've been to a mall in years. I bought this shirt. Worth it. $20, worth it. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you later.